Good Boys was bad. I'm just kidding. That's it. That's my intro. Hi, I'm Amanda and you're watching Swell Entertainment. I went and saw Good Boys with my dad. I didn't want my dad sitting home alone, so I was like, hey, let me take you out to see a movie, and I knew he wasn't gonna see The Kitchen with me. Also, he suffered through the new Hellboy with me, so it was his turn to choose. So I took him to a movie theater. We went to a new theater that I hadn't actually been to before. It was a smaller theater. It only had 6 theaters. It had the older style of seating where it was just a small aisle and it was a slope. I really liked that setup. I was really excited. I got my popcorn, I got my soda, we were having a good time. And then the movie started. 5 minutes into the movie, my dad leaned over and asked if I would be mad if we left. My dad and I actually walked out of this movie. I don't know what happens in the last 20 minutes of this movie, and I really don't care. So if you're worried about having the ending spoiled for you, I'm sorry, this isn't the video that's going to do it, because I don't know. Before the movie even started, during the trailers, I knew I was gonna have a long movie experience, because off to the side behind us, there was a dude who wouldn't shut the up. And he kept that going for the entire movie. I think my dad and I and this dude and his date, if she was still his date by the end of this, I don't think we were watching the same movie, because this dude thought this was the funniest movie he's ever fucking seen. Oh my god, this dude did not stop laughing. The entire movie, did not shut the fuck up. I can tolerate the never-ending laugh in a movie theater. I can tolerate it. But what I can't tolerate anymore, because I used to be this bitch and I beat it out of myself, and everyone needs to do this too, is I cannot tolerate a line repeater. I can't. I don't give a shit if what you saw on screen was the funniest in life. You're not gonna make it funnier by repeating it to the person next to you. It's not going to be as funny the second time. You're not now a funnier person because you repeated the line to someone. Now, I understand if the person next to you is like, I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't catch that. What did they say? And then you repeat the line to them so that they can understand, or you explain the line to them a little bit so they can understand what's going on. That's one thing. But when you just lean over and you're like, hey, hello. Ew. Moving on. The movie as a whole wasn't funny. Everything that was in the trailer that I found funny was also in the movie. That was like the only funny parts of the movie. The story I wasn't invested in. The story is that these 3 kids, they're all trying to make it in the 6th grade. They all have different things going on in their lives. They all want to go to a kissing party, so they decide to spy on one of the kids' neighbors so they can learn how to kiss. They use the one kid's dad's drone to do so. The neighbor girls hold it hostage and they have to go get the drone. So because the girls won't give them the drone back, they steal her bag. Oh, surprise, there's Molly in the bag. So there's a whole big thing because, oh no, we can't put these drugs back on the street. Because apparently they were the only kids that paid attention during the DARE assembly. A lot of the gags and a lot of the jokes weren't funny. There were a lot of jokes made repeatedly. For example, one of the kids, Thor, he kept mispronouncing words or saying the wrong words when trying to say something. And it was just a gag that kept being made, but it was never commented on by anyone else. It was just like something where it's like, oh, we're supposed to find this funny because this 12-year-old doesn't know the proper words for things because he's 12. And that was the problem with a lot of the movie. A lot of the jokes were riding on the fact that these were a bunch of 12-year-olds telling these jokes. Like, the jokes weren't funny themselves, but we're supposed to find it funny that these 12-year-olds are making these jokes. Because, oh, 12-year-olds are talking about Molly. They know how stuff works. Oh, haha, they don't know what a sex doll is. They keep calling it a CPR doll. It was just a lot of stuff like that just wasn't funny. There were a couple lines where I was like, okay, that's funny. That's a funny line. One-liners don't make a movie. Even in a comedy movie, the story shouldn't be secondary to the gags. You know, they should all kind of like form together because it's a comedy. It's supposed to all mesh together. The only joke where I like genuinely thought was funny and I actually laughed is one of the kids' parents are getting a divorce and he finally tells his friends after his arm had been dislocated and they put it back together again. They're like, hey, you're gonna be okay. And he's like, no, I'm not. My parents are getting a divorce. And Thor says, what'd you do? I found that hilarious. Now, that may sound up, but as someone whose parents also started splitting up, I was at the same age as that kid when his parents are splitting up. That's exactly what I thought as I blame myself. That's what a lot of kids do when you're at that weird age when everything is confusing and you're going through a bunch of shit. And then your parents are also deciding to get a divorce. Side note, if you're the kid and your parents are getting a divorce, it's not your fault. Regardless of what anyone tells you or whatever you believe, it's not your fault. I don't think I have any kids watching me, but just in case, it's not your fault. But the rest of the movie, I was just like, okay, and like, you know, again, there's a lot of it was just like really stupidly predictable. Like the dad says, hey, I'm going on a business trip. Don't touch my drone. Whatever you do, it's for my work. I leaned over to my dad and was like, oh my God, do you think he's gonna touch the drone? I leaned over to my dad at one point because I'm thinking like, am I just not getting this type of comedy? Am I just missing something? Because again, the dude behind us is dying. We probably should call someone for oxygen because he's having difficulty breathing. He's laughing so hard. I leaned over and I was like, am I just not getting the jokes? Like, what's happening? My dad's like, no, this is horrible. Anyway, obviously touches the drone. They lose the drone, they break the drone, so they buy a new drone, then destroy the house. And there's this whole other thing. He's on the phone with his dad, and the dad sees that the house is destroyed, and the kid is like, I love you, say it back. I need to hear you say it back. And it's like, this is like sad. Like, I'm sorry, is his relationship with his father now ruined because the house is a little trashed because of the drone? 'Cause holy shit, that's like really sad. And this is around the time where they're like all fighting and crying that my dad and I left. My dad and I were genuinely just like, I don't care about this story. I don't care about how this ends. I could see how this ends and I'm still gonna think it was a terrible movie because it was. There were a couple lines, like I said, that were like, haha, it's kind of funny, but overall the story is just not good. It wasn't. A lot of the jokes and a lot of the gags, if it weren't for the R rating, if you took out some of the more adult content like the Molly and the swearing and just toned down the sex doll element a little bit, you could have gotten a smaller rating, and then people closer to these kids' ages, the kids that are on screen, would have gone and seen this movie. That's who this movie seemed to be targeting more than anything, was not adults my age or adults my dad's age, or even the dude on the verge of hyperventilating behind us. It seemed like it was geared more towards the comedy of these young children, of these 12-year-olds. I don't know, I just feel like PG-13 would have suited this movie better. I know this really wasn't great at review, and someone's gonna be like, hey, I f***ing love that movie. Hey, that dude behind you f***ing love that movie. That's fine. I didn't like the movie. I'm here to give you my opinion. You can disagree with me all you want. You might be wrong, but so might I. Someone's gonna say, what if the ending explained everything? There was nothing to explain. It was just a bad comedy movie. I just didn't care about any of it. My dad didn't care about any of it. It just wasn't good. And that's it. That's my review. Thank you for watching. Did you see Good Boys? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you disagree with me? Are your parents divorced? I don't know. Shout out to Sarah, Catherine, and Aaron for supporting me on my Patreon. If you would also like to support me on my Patreon, the link will be listed down below. If you'd like to follow me on all my social media, that'll be all up here. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. I mean, I guess I can give the movie props because my dad and I were able to bond over a bad movie.